Today I'm talking to Chris Harrison, owner and chief winemaker of Beach House Wines in Hawke's Bay. Hey, pleasure to meet you, Chris. And
Nice to meet you too.
and also I'm delighted to congratulate you on getting a place in our top wineries list for 2022. That's a great thing, and well done for that.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask first, why Beach House? Where did you get the brand name from?
Well, we had a cellar door out at the beach at Taiwan. The story started when I moved to Hawke's Bay to set up a little brewery in '94, and my father helped me, helped us build a brewery there, and he liked it so much he'd leave Palmerston North in the miserable winter days and come up to a beautiful Hawke's Bay winter's day, blue skies, frosty morning, lovely day, and then drive back to the Manawatu in the weekends. And so they decided that their children, namely me and my wife Jill, who had settled in Hawke's Bay, would be a good place to move to. So they moved up and they bought a bit of land out at Tiawanga, and then Dad built a straw bale cellar door, which they opened for the millennium in about 2000. And so they grew the Chardonnay out of the beach and the Riesling and a bit of Gewurz in the beginning. And then we had a brewery at Mary Road, and we bought a bit of land in, we had a brewery on Amahu Road, and we bought a bit of land in Mary Road in '99, and then started planting grapes in the Gimlet Gravels in 1999. It also had a house, so we moved in, lived there, and then eventually we built a winery in 2008 in the Cabernet Gravels Mary Road vineyard. And so my parents moved up, and they ran the cellar door out of the beach on the weekends, and I happily made wine, and it was a good sort of family business. But then, of course, people get older, they grow old, and it got to the point where I was looking after my vineyard at Mary Road, the winery at Mary Road, the brewery, Dad's vineyard out of the beach, which was a little bit of an adventurous vineyard. He'd sort of reinvented the wheel in a few places, and the cellar door. And then eventually in 2019, my mother died, so things had to change. So we sold the vineyard out of the beach. But we kept the brand name Beach House.
Do you still get fruit from Taiwan?
We have, but no. I've basically contracted some more Chardonnay off the Guns, who live just across the river in Ahidi Road, just across the Narora River from where our vineyard is in Mary Road.
I know where that is. Now, I wouldn't be the first to describe your wines as classy wines at favourable prices.
Yes.
I really believe that's the case, and I'm just wondering how you do it.
Well, my parents were hill country sheep farmers, so we're very frugal. And when it came to building a winery, the first check I invested in was a TIG welder. So I did a lot of work myself. Then obviously the brewery provided the cash flow in the early years. And so initially, obviously, we were very small. That's why we've sort of flown under your radar. We were only doing sort of 10 tons, and it was sort of a weekend activity. The brewery was the focus. But then obviously when we sold everything, and the wines had reached a point where, with 20 years vine age, 22 years of winemaking experience, the quality of the wine was such that, people were regularly saying to me that the wines were too cheap. And so we have started putting the prices up, but slowly, so being quick.
Well, there's a great deluge of prices going over the $100 mark now. I seem to get samples every day with a new face that's gone over $100. So it's the fashion at the moment.
Well, I'm still selling them at realistic prices. So we were selling our reds, which were trophy-winning reds consistently. Like our Cabernet Franc got a trophy in 18, and then the 19 vintage got a trophy, and the 20 vintage got a trophy, and we were selling it for $30 a bottle. So, I was reticent to put the prices up, but I realized now that people were saying, "Why are they so cheap? There must be something wrong with them." So that's not the message you want to send. So we've put it up 30 to 35, and some of the next vintages will go to 40, and so on and so forth.
Are your wines inspired by over international benchmarks or New Zealand benchmarks? Or
it's a very good question. They're more inspired by a pursuit of what the terroir can produce, clarity of fruit. Obviously, they're French varieties predominantly, with the Montepulciano being an Italian exception. And so I'm trying to make wines that are true to the variety more than anything. Obviously, there's decisions about oak, which I don't want to over oak them. I'm also keeping the cellar quite cool. I'm trying to get the fruit flavors coming through. I'm noticing that more and more as the vines get older, it's more of a pursuit of the purity of the terroir or the vineyard, the expression of what 93 Mary Road can do, than pursuing some other winemaking aspect. Obviously, with the Chardonnay, that's a different story. My Chardonnay is sort of influenced by by Burgundy. We sort of handpick, whole bunch press, leaf stir, French oak, and wild ferments and Merlots and things like that. So that's more of a traditional French approach. But the reds, again, we try and minimize what we're doing. We're doing a lot more sort of natural ferments. We tend to sort of plunge a little less, rack and return, so that the ferments are nice and healthy. We basically take the juice off as it's fermenting, give it a bit of air and put it back, just so the ferments are nice and healthy, and we tend to get a lot more expressive fruit flavors that way.
Do you have a favourite variety that gets a little bit more attention than the others?
Yeah, well, I worked in the Loire Valley. I worked for Chateau Passavant in 1992. So Anjou Village, Cabernet Franc. So the Cabernet Franc's always held a place in my heart. So my wife's just doing a little dance in the background. So that's always held a place in my heart. So, and it's also a very good variety. It's the variety, like with that Montepulciano, we have to fruit thin. We have to throw half the fruit on the ground. With the Cabernet Franc, it's sort of, the vines are in balance. The canopy gets the right size. It never overcrops. In a good year, we can make a straight Cabernet Franc. In a bad year, we use the Cabernet Franc to bolster the other varieties. So like in challenging years, you'll find I make a Beach House Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc Malbec, as opposed to in good years, I make a Beach House Cabernet Malbec with a little bit of Franc, and then I make a straight Franc. So the Franc is very much my favorite.
Yeah, snap, because I think Cabernet Franc is I'm just getting better and better in Hawke's Bay. I don't know whether it's a vine age thing or what, but there are so many. I've had so many really good Cab Francs come through, and I think it's exciting. Really, really great.
I think it is vine age. And also winemaking skill. People are doing. I'm not alone following the sort of winemaking methods I've just talked about. Other people are doing very similar things. They're keeping their cellars cold. They're, doing less extraction, and they're trying to, obviously make less aggressive, more expressive wines, I suppose. Great
to meet you over the internet, at least, and
I look forward to seeing you at the event.
Congratulations once again on getting in the top wineries list, and look forward to perhaps seeing you in October in Auckland.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.